What is up, guys? Your boy Wayne Jackson, and welcome to the channel. So today's video is a little bit different. Today I want to share with you all some of my background and some of the doubts that I experienced when I was first starting off on my software engineering journey. You see, the success that I have now as a Facebook engineer is no reflection of how I was feeling in those early days or the roller coaster that I went on as I was kind of progressing along on this journey. So this video here is for those of you who may be doubting your software engineering path. Maybe you're dealing with a bit of imposter syndrome, or maybe you're just struggling with the learning curve of programming. So to start out, I'm gonna give you guys a bit of my background. You guys know very little about where I come from or how I even began on my software engineering journey. Well, here's the short version. When I began college, I was a psychology major. I was a bad student and I had no path. I had fading hoop dreams that were remnants of my high school days, and it was clear that they would never come to fruition. I was the epitome of a lost teenager with no idea what he was doing or why he was put on this earth. Funny thing is that during registration, one of the advisors had recommended to me that I should study computer science and engineering because I had done a decent job on the placement test. This to me at that time sounded like a lot of hard work and was not something I was interested in. However, I did have a bit of interest in psychology, so I decided that I would go with that route. Not that my selection mattered though. I didn't take any of it seriously. I would skip class notoriously and do the bare minimum because I had no idea why I was even in college in the first place. This eventually led to me being put on academic probation. Mind you, this was at a community college. I was also in the military at this time. That's right, I was in the Air National Guard during my time in college. During my second semester at this community college, I received orders that my unit would be deploying to Afghanistan for 6 months. Little did I know that this break from college and deployment would be exactly what I needed to get my life on track. Fast forward to me returning from this deployment and being back on US soil, I was on the phone with my father one day discussing my future college plans. I told him that I was going to try university this time and was going to continue majoring in psychology. My father responded to that in a fatherly tone with a question that would change the path of my life. Wayne, why on earth are you studying psychology? Well, he didn't put it exactly that way, but I want to keep this channel kid-friendly, so I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what he said. You see, your parents see things in you that you don't see in yourself. My father reminded me of my early childhood days of whizzing through math class and making honor roll. He believed that I was wasting my scientific and mathematical abilities, and that I should explore other avenues of higher education. Shortly after that phone call, I did some reflecting. There was something about what he said that made me flash back to that community college advisor that had told me about computer science and engineering. I decided at that moment that I was going to give it a try. So when I applied at the University of Toledo, I declared my major as computer science and engineering. There was one major problem though. My grades from those community college days were still haunting me. Because my grades from then were so low, the University of Toledo would only accept me under the stipulation that I maintain at least a 3.0 GPA during my first semester there. On top of that, the College of Engineering at the University of Toledo had some steep requirements that I would need to satisfy before I was admitted into it. I saw all of this as a second chance though, so I stepped to the plate and was eventually admitted into the College of Engineering at University of Toledo. This is where my software engineering journey began. Now I wish I could sit up here and tell you guys that everything went smoothly for me once I was admitted into the College of Engineering. However, that would be a lie. You see, the truth is that I was intimidated. I had many doubts and I wondered whether or not I even belonged there. I remember vividly being in an intro to programming class and looking at the professor as if they were speaking a foreign language when they would be explaining even the most simple programming concepts. I also experienced mixed emotions when I would see some of the students in the class blaze through the class projects. You see, part of me wanted to be like them, but there was another part of me, a very small part of me, that wondered if I would ever get to that level. You see, some of these students have been programming since middle school or high school, and I wondered if I had started too late. This mindset, though, slowly faded with each minor success that I had. I still remember vividly our first programming project, which was to calculate wind chill given a set of parameters and to print it to the console. I remember vividly, though, when I finally figured it out. I had some friends over and they were playing Halo in the background, and I remember them looking over at me like I was crazy when I celebrated my victory over this wind chill problem. It was at this moment that I decided I wanted to be great at this software engineering stuff. I needed a goalpost though, and that goalpost would be none other than Silicon Valley. At this point, I did some searching on the internet. I wanted to know what some of the best places to work at as a software engineer were. Of course, the results returned companies such as Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft. I heard about some of the exuberant salaries these companies were paying even their interns. I even heard about some of the amenities, from the world-class food to the nap pods. None of this interested me though. My goal was specifically to prove to myself that I was a good enough engineer to work at these companies. I knew the acceptance rates were low and the rejection rates were high, and because of that, I had a reason to learn as much about software engineering and programming as possible. During the rest of my time in university, I became obsessed with programming and making things. I loved the problem solving and the possibilities. I would freelance and build apps in my free time. Eventually, I became the guy who carried the class projects. None of this was overnight though. There were many nights of doubts, frustration, and tedium. But eventually, all those hours that I put in paid off, and in 2017, I accepted an offer from Facebook to join them full time. There's more of a story there between when I graduated in 2015 and when I accepted my offer at Facebook, but I will save that for another time. So why am I sharing this with you all? The main point I want to send home here is that it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. The people that you admire because of where they are in life have most likely experienced similar doubts and struggles as you when they were first starting out. They may have had many sleepless nights, put in countless hours, and grinded hard to be where they are now. I share a bit of my story with you all in hopes that when you are experiencing those doubts and wanting to quit, you remember to keep going. As J. Cole puts it, your chaining day may be just around the corner. I'll end this video with one of my favorite quotes from the late great Bruce Lee. There are no limits, there are only plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. So keep going. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.